Hello, welcome to the second episode of the Nestcast. My name is Nestor Perez. If you didn't watch the last episode or listen to the last episode, I strongly advise you to listen to the last episode so you can understand what's gonna happen on this podcast. So yeah, this is the second episode. The theme of this episode will be Spider-Man. As you can tell by the title of the YouTube video, brain fart. So, yeah, I'm gonna be talking about mainly the games and some of the movies. Games, mainly the PS4 and 5 exclusives. So, that's the gameplay you're gonna see today. Behind it, it will switch between both Miles Morales and the regular Spider-Man. So, please let me know how the quality looks, because I bought a capture card off Amazon. I'm gonna be honest, it's just a cheap knockoff from the Elgato ones. Hopefully one day I can afford it and get an Elgato stream, an Elgato capture card. So, hopefully one day I'll be able to get that. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So, Spider-Man. I think you all know who he is. You know, got bitten by a radioactive spider. Uncle died. Etc. Etc. You know, pretty much basic Spider-Man needs. So, I grew up on Spider-Man. I don't know if you guys have grown up with Spider-Man too. Hopefully you did, because if you did, I hope you had an amazing childhood. But yeah, I grew up on Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always been my favorite superhero, alongside others like Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Captain America, etc. Yeah, so like I loved the Tobey Maguire movies. So Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Yes, I love 3. Controversial, I know. So I grew up on the Tobey Maguire ones, but didn't get a full grasp of those movies until later. And then the movies I watched fully that I know, like I watched in theaters the moment they released, were the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man films. So I was that kid that watched the Tobey Maguire movies, but didn't comprehend what was those movies until the Andrew Garfield movies. I mean, I am only a 2000s kid, so, you know, bear with me. So, I've always loved those movies. The Andrew Garfield movies, in my opinion, are the second best. He doesn't have a trilogy, but if he had a trilogy, he'd be in the second, because of how good everything in those movies are, from the CGI to the swinging montages they have to, I guess, character arcs. But, and I mean, Gwen Stacy on those movies are amazing. I mean, yeah. So, you know, it's just like a lot of stuff going on at the same time that I love. That's what I love about Spider-Man films. They just get introduced, and boom, you get like the introduction, how he gets bitten, where he gets bitten, and boom, you just get the evolved. You just see Peter Parker evolving, going on and through the movies. And that's what makes me love Spider-Man so much. I also watched the newer Spider-Mans, the MCU Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Yeah, we're gonna talk about him a lot more. So, Tom Holland Spider-Man. Okay, there is no right or wrong about how good Tom Holland Spider-Man is. There is no right, there is no wrong. It's just obviously people's opinions. My opinion is that he is actually really good. In fact, in my opinion, he gets top 3. Like, he's in the top 3 of, like, Spider-Man trilogies. But I'm not going to say who's in 1 or 2 or 3 till the end of the episode, so stay tuned. But, Spider-Man on the MCU is amazing. I love how he got introduced in Captain America Civil War. I think it was a good refresher after the Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I mean, I honestly loved how they introduced the MCU, how the MCU introduced Spider-Man into the MCU. You see Tony Stark going into Peter's apartment in Queens, and sitting down with Aunt May, and going down with the Stark internship, according to May, and then you see them going into Peter's room, and Tony's offering Peter the fight alongside him and a few other Avengers against Cap, which Team Iron Man, by the way, I know half of them are dead, but Team Iron Man all the way. But they get I love how they get him into immediately into the action. They don't wait oh, this is how Uncle Ben died in the MCU. This is how he got bitten by a radioactive spider in the MCU. Which at the time of recording, the Disney Plus series of freshman year Spider-Man, which is how we're gonna get introduced to how he got bitten by the spider and how Uncle Ben dies in the MCU. But for some reason, according to critics, it's not lore in the MCU timeline. We'll have to see about how that goes when the thing comes out. So we'll see. I mean, there's another year and a half until this series comes out. So again, only time will tell. Yeah, I'm honestly, I loved how they introduced Spider-Man into the MCU, and then a year later, they came out with Spider-Man Homecoming, which probably put out it's an amazing story for Tom Holland Peter, because he's looking up to his mentors, Tony Stark. He's looking up to Tony. He keeps talking to Happy, and he's trying to balance school and the quote unquote Stark internship, and I don't know. It's just I love how Peter can try to combine and live with two sides of what is his life now, and now that he's this top dog superhero that people are starting to recognize him for in the public and in the critics and everything. It really makes a lot of difference between what is Peter's life now and what he has to do. In the movie, spoilers if you haven't watched the movie after 5-6 years. In the movie, you see Happy and Peter talk about how he quit band. That's another issue, how he had to choose between being in band or being a superhero. And Peter obviously chose how to be a superhero. And then later in the movie, you see him go on this ferry to Staten Island. According to the movie, you go to Staten Island, and you see how Tony Stark's talking to him, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm at band practice," and then obviously Peter thinks Tony does not understand or doesn't know what is happening, but Tony always knows what's happening because Tony Stark is Tony Stark and knows everything. So you already know that once Tony was talking to Peter before he got onto the ferry, you know something was going to happen. So when the ferry got cut in half, you see Peter try to struggle and do the iconic hold something from two sides thing. I'll try to find a picture and probably pop it up somewhere on the screen, and if I don't, well, you're gonna have to either watch the movie or find it on the internet. Apologies, I guess. But again, it's like, he's holding the boat, the ferry within two, like from his two hands with a bunch of webs attached to the ferry, and then you just see Iron Man pick up the entire ferry and saw it back in half, and then after that you see Tony Stark take away the Stark suit from Peter, so he's back to his homemade suit, which made me love the movie because he goes from what is his, oh my god, Tony Stark gave me this, to, oh my god, I'm back to how I was 7 months prior to Germany, which to him, Germany only happened to 6 months ago in the timeline of that movie. But now, yeah, Peter's like, oh, okay, I have to find out who's doing this and stuff. Like, you see him go after Vulture, and it's just amazing because, like, you see him travel to, like, to get Vulture and everything, and oh my god, it's just amazing. And then he gets, like, he picks up the boulders and stuff, and it's just amazing overall. But we cannot talk about MCU Spider-Man without talking about the biggest movie, like the second biggest movie Marvel has done, or like the third biggest movie Marvel has done and released in the last year and recent week re-released. Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh my god, such an amazing movie. I went to watch it day one. I went to watch it immediately after when it came out in December of 2021, and I do not regret it at all. Me and my friend that went to watch it, we do not regret it at all. We yelled when we saw Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come back. We yelled, like we were happy, like we were shocked, and we were happy to see everything. Now, Tobey Maguire, oh my god, Tobey Maguire, he is amazing. I really hope, I know this is a rumor, but I really hope Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire come back for Secret Wars, because Secret Wars would be really nice to see Andrew finally fight his aliens that he wanted to fight in No Way Home. And then Tobey Maguire would just be a nice kick to see again. Again, everyone loves Tobey, whether you like Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland more. Everyone adores Tobey Maguire in one way or another. But ranking them, like, between Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, and Tobey Maguire, I personally, because of how I grew up, Tobey Maguire is top one. Like, he's number one in my rankings of Spider-Man. And I don't know. It's just me personally, though. Now, we can't talk Spider-Man without Sony. Sony, what are you doing? No, but okay, Sony, I love what you're doing with Spider-Verse. Again, Spider-Verse is coming out in like 10 months time. So I'm excited. Me and my friends are like excited to see this movie come out. And we are like stoked to see this movie because it got delayed. We could have seen this. We could have seen Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse in March, but no, they delayed it to June. So, I mean, we get to see it during summer break, so we're not complaining that much, but we're still complaining because we got nothing else to complain about at the moment. But Miles Morales, oh my god, Miles, that movie is amazing, and it is truly amazing on how the art style and the jokes. Like, I know it's a PG movie, but it does really well to contribute all the Spider-Man factors and the PG factors to keep it PG. And it's just amazing. Alright. Video games. So, again, you were just seeing Spider-Man gameplay, and I think right now it's on Miles Morales gameplay. Yeah, Miles Morales, these games are phenomenal. in my opinion, they are probably the best PlayStation exclusives. I know God of War exists. I know Horizon exists. Don't get me wrong; those games are really good, and I'm currently playing God of War. Probably while editing, I was troubling editing while playing God of War. So yeah, but I honestly love the Spider-Man games, both Miles Morales and the remastered version of Spider-Man for the PS4. Well, not for the PS5. This is the remastered. Honestly, the storytelling on the original Spider-Man game, amazing. The Sinister Six, finally, we see the Sinister Six in the game. We see in a game, and it is just amazing. We see Dr. Octavius, Electro, Scorpion, Rhino, and for the first time ever, we see Mr. Negative in the game. Like, in anywhere, actually, because we've never seen Mr. Negative in anywhere, which I really hope for a movie they bring him into the movie. This was being recorded the day after Sony's State of Play, and I am mad. I am pissed that they did not say anything about Spider-Man 2, because I've been waiting so long, for like a year and a half, for updates on this game, and there have been nothing about this game, and it's truly pissing me off. And I really I hated it. Now it is supposed to come out next year, so we could see another State of Play in December and get something then, which I really hope. But what it's looking like, we might see Spider-Man 2 come out for the holiday season of next year, which, if it is, then you already know I'm asking for that collector's edition, if there is a collector's edition. If not, I'll get the standard, whatever. But yeah, Spider-Man games, yeah, like we see the Sinister Six. We take down 2 at a time. So like you first take down Electro and Vulture, then you take out Rhino and Scorpion, and you leave the 2 best and menacing villains for last: Mr. Negative and the menace himself, Dr. Octavius. I honestly love the story arc between Dr. Octavius and Peter, and it is just amazing. And then you also see at the end of the game, in the trailers, like the post-credit scenes, you see Miles get bitten by a spider. So, obviously, sequel time. Well, not really a sequel. It's like a mini game for Miles. So, again, Miles Morales. Yeah. So he gets his own game. Personally, it probably could have been a DLC, but I mean, hey, they had to release something alongside the PS5, so they saw the opportunity. But honestly, Miles Morales, the game, is amazing. The graphics from the PS5 to from the PS4 game to the PS5, truly amazing. I honestly wished it was a little longer, but hey, I am not complaining that much because that game is still amazing. Both games are honestly S-tier games. If you are looking to get a PlayStation, any PlayStation 5 or 4, if you can get a 5. But honestly, it is such an amazing game. Both of them. The story arc on Miles Morales is amazing, because you see Miles get the responsibility of, this is my first time ever doing superhero stuff. Then you immediately get to take down Rhino because of the prison breaks and stuff. And then, like, later on down in the road, you see Miles struggle on how to keep his secret identity to his mom, and going to, how he can keep it up with all that. And it's just truly amazing. And then you see his like long best friend Finn come into the picture at some point, and later find out, oh shoot, this is the main villain. The Tinkerer is the main villain, and you're just like, oh, okay, so this is the main villain. Calm down. So you lose your mind over that, because oh my god, this Spider-Man knew this person, and yada yada yada. So like, it's just amazing. It honestly is amazing. And then the final fight scene with the Tinkerer and Spider-Man, seeing the Tinkerer sacrifice herself to save everyone in Harlem, including Spider-Man. Truly, truly amazing. But yeah, those are the games. I honestly... Yeah, Spider-Man, again. I've read some of the comics, not like the entire comic collection of Spider-Man, but oh my god, I have read so many. Of course, how can I forget the Amazing Spider-Man issue 124, Gwen Stacy's death? How could I forget? How could I not read that? Because that is such an iconic comic. But yeah, I think that wraps up this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Again, like how I said in the last episode, every 2 weeks I will be making an episode, so keep an eye out for that. And again, I want to thank my friend Christian Castillo for making this end credit scene that you're about to see. Wow! Ooh! Ah! I am not adding an explosion, but funny graphic. And again, for the profile picture and everything. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you aren't watching the video, again, thank you so much. And see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.